The stars stretched endlessly across the black canvas of space. Ships of all sizes drifted silently, their hulls reflecting the distant glow of dying suns. Among them, the human fleet moved with quiet confidence, a presence that was largely underestimated by the galaxy's powers. On board the flagship Resolute, Commander Lena Ortiz stared at the holographic display, her eyes sharp and focused. For decades, humanity had tried peace. Messages of friendship, trade, and cooperation had been sent to the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. Time and again, humans had been ignored, ridiculed, or attacked. Worlds had been lost, colonies destroyed, and countless human lives had been sacrificed. Yet humanity survived. Not only survived, but learned, adapted, and prepared. The message that now echoed across alien communication channels was simple, yet unnerving. We tried peace. Now you will witness our retribution. In a distant system, the leaders of the Krathic Empire received the transmission. They were tall, reptilian beings with scales that gleamed like molten metal. They read the words multiple times, each repetition twisting their confidence into unease. They had always considered humans weak, unpredictable, and simple, but this message suggested something far different, something they could not immediately measure. "What is this?" hissed High Strategist Talrek. They are threatening us?" The Supreme Council exchanged worried glances. For centuries, humans had been at the edge of galactic maps, considered an afterthought. Now they spoke as equals, or perhaps as something more dangerous. A reckoning. Back on the Resolute, Commander Ortiz walked across the deck, her boots echoing softly on the polished metal floor. Crew members glanced at her, seeing calm determination in her face. She stopped in front of the bridge's main viewport and looked out at the cluster of ships orbiting nearby. Each one was a machine of strategy and strength, designed for more than mere defense. Humans had studied alien technologies, learned their weaknesses, and developed weapons that could surprise even the most advanced species. Lieutenant Marco Reyes approached, carrying a data tablet. "Commander, we've completed the planetary scans of the Outpost Sigma system. Alien forces are preparing to respond, but they seem hesitant, confused," Ortiz nodded. "Good, hesitation is the first crack in their armor. We need to exploit it carefully. Remember, this is not blind revenge. This is a calculated warning. They must understand we cannot be ignored." The humans had trained for this moment for years. Their soldiers, engineers, and scientists had worked together, forming a system that was both flexible and formidable. They could strike with precision, predict enemy movements, and adapt instantly. Every failure in the past had been studied, every mistake corrected, and every human had been prepared for the harsh reality of survival among the stars. On the alien side, fleets were mobilizing. Dread hung over their command centers as reports of human defenses came in. Outposts that should have been vulnerable were fortified. Sensors indicated rapid deployment of human soldiers, stealth drones, and automated defense systems that outpaced the aliens' own technology. High Strategist Talrek's voice trembled slightly as he addressed the council. "They are not as weak as we assumed. Every colony we check shows defensive measures beyond reason. They are ready for war." The Supreme Commander, a massive creature covered in armored plates, slammed its clawed hand on the council table. "Impossible. Humans are small, fragile. They cannot match us." Yet the evidence was undeniable. Scouts reported that humans had anticipated every common tactic used against them. Ships that were meant to cut through defenses found themselves caught in precise traps. Communication networks were hacked, turning alien fleets against one another. Every encounter showed a species that had grown from weakness into strategic brilliance. Back on Earth, scientists watched the unfolding events with grim satisfaction. Satellites, relay stations, and orbiting AI systems coordinated perfectly with the human fleet. Every human on Earth knew that this was a turning point. Not a war of aggression, but a declaration that humanity would no longer be dismissed, underestimated, or destroyed. Commander Ortiz returned to the bridge, watching the holographic map of the nearby alien systems. She spoke into the comms, her voice steady and calm. "Send the second transmission. Let them know our patience has ended. Let them know that underestimating Earth will no longer be tolerated." The message was brief yet chilling. "Prepare. We do not strike first, but we never fail when provoked." Across the galaxy, alien systems buzzed with activity. Military leaders debated, scientists analyzed, and civilians whispered in fear. Humanity had always been a quiet observer, rarely intervening in galactic politics. But now the humans were making it clear that the era of ignorance would end. Meanwhile, in the quiet of the flagship's command deck, Ortiz reflected on humanity's journey. From a planet ravaged by environmental disasters and political conflicts, humans had risen to a position that no one could ignore. They were not perfect, but they were resilient, inventive, and relentless. She looked at her crew, each member representing a piece of humanity's strength. Soldiers trained in tactics centuries ahead of what the aliens expected. Engineers who could turn any environment into a fortress. Scientists who could decode alien communications before the enemy even realized their messages were intercepted. Humanity had become a force shaped by necessity, tempered by hardship, and guided by intelligence. The first part of their campaign was simple: make the galaxy realize that humans were no longer vulnerable. Ortiz knew that some alien species would test them, some would ignore the warnings, and others might attempt to attack. But for the first time in centuries, humanity was prepared for the consequences of being underestimated. The stars outside shimmered with the cold light of distant suns, a silent witness to the coming storm. Humans, once dismissed as fragile and unremarkable, were now a reckoning in motion, and the galaxy would soon learn that Earth's message was not empty words, it was a promise and a warning. As the Resolute moved toward the frontier systems, Ortiz's voice carried across the command deck once more. This is not vengeance. This is justice. We tried peace. We were ignored. Now we will show the galaxy the strength of humanity. And with that, humanity's quiet patience ended. The first waves of preparation were complete. The aliens would soon face a species that they thought weak, fragile, and inconsequential. But humans had one thing the galaxy had never counted on: unity, courage, and the relentless determination to survive, and to make their enemies understand that underestimating Earth came at a price. The first shots were fired before the aliens even realized the humans had begun their strike. The remote colony of Vera 9 had been selected as the testing ground for humanity's strategic might. On the surface, it appeared quiet, almost empty. But beneath the crust, human engineers had set intricate networks of automated defenses, mines, and sensor arrays. Commander Lena Ortiz watched from orbit aboard the Resolute. Her hands rested lightly on the command console, yet her mind was fully alert. Initiate Phase 1, she ordered. Across the fleet, ships shifted formation, moving in patterns designed to confuse, isolate, and disable alien reinforcements. Down on Vera 9, the alien invasion force advanced confidently. Their scout ships zipped through the planet's atmosphere, certain that humans could not mount a serious defense. But as their first wave landed, they triggered concealed mines and automated turrets. Alien transports faltered mid-landing, and communication lines were jammed before the command squad could even respond. Colonel Amir Khan led the human ground forces. Clad in adaptive armor and moving in perfect coordination, his squad struck with precision. Using advanced drones and camouflage technology, humans disrupted alien formations, cutting them off one by one. Every move the aliens made had been anticipated, every path calculated. It was not sheer power that defeated them. It was strategy, discipline, and adaptability. Back in orbit, Ortiz observed the chaos unfolding below. Alien warships attempted to respond, sending bombers and attack craft to support their ground forces. Yet the humans had predicted these reinforcements. Fleet ships emerged from stealth positions, disabling alien engines and communications with rapid energy bursts. Ships that were supposed to outmaneuver human fighters found themselves trapped in deadly grids of automated fire. Commander, Lieutenant Marco Reyes reported, Phase 1 is going exactly as planned. Alien losses are higher than expected. They are retreating from the forward positions. Ortiz nodded, her expression calm. Good, do not give them time to recover. Continue pressure, but remember, precision, not unnecessary destruction. We are sending a message, not chaos. The aliens, however, had underestimated human resilience. Soldiers who had survived previous attacks coordinated with engineers who repaired and repurposed weapons mid-battle. Every obstacle humans faced became an opportunity to demonstrate ingenuity. Even alien tactics that had succeeded against other species failed here, as humans adapted almost instantly. In the skies above Vera 9, fighter pilots executed synchronized maneuvers that seemed impossible to the alien observers. Their sleek ships darted and rolled through the void, launching precise attacks while avoiding counterfire. Each human pilot communicated seamlessly with the ground units, creating a network that acted faster than any alien intelligence system could predict. "Commander," Reyes said again, urgency in his voice. "Alien leaders are attempting to regroup. They are sending a larger fleet to reinforce the colony. They know they cannot hold the ground without it." Ortiz's eyes narrowed. "Prepare Phase 2. Let them see the cost of arrogance." Phase 2 began with a signal that only the aliens could detect, a coordinated strike on their communication hubs. Alien ships scrambled to defend their systems, but humans had planned for every defensive maneuver. Swarms of drones infiltrated alien command ships, disabling internal networks and turning their weapons against them. Alien pilots panicked as they realized their own technology was being used to attack them. On the surface, Colonel Khan led his squad in a synchronized push against alien command centers. Using stealth and rapid movement, they captured key positions and prevented the aliens from establishing a stronghold. Civilians in human-controlled colonies watched the operation via secure transmissions, understanding for the first time the full strength of Earth's forces. Meanwhile, Ortiz directed the fleet with the precision of a seasoned tactician. Her voice cut through the calm hum of the bridge. "Target their reinforcements. Focus on disabling engines, not destruction. Let them live to remember who they faced." Alien commanders struggled to maintain control. Every maneuver they attempted was met with human foresight. For the first time in their history, a species they considered weak had forced them to retreat, to question every assumption they had held about the humans. As the battle raged across multiple systems, Ortiz's fleet acted with remarkable coordination. Supply lines were cut, ships trapped, and strategic positions neutralized without unnecessary casualties. It was not only victory, it was a demonstration of intelligence, courage, and discipline. Humanity's message of retribution was clear. Underestimate us at your peril, but we strike with reason, not blind rage. Back on Earth, scientists monitored the campaign with quiet satisfaction. AI systems tracked every alien move, predicting their responses and sending countermeasures in real time. Humans had learned from centuries of mistakes and victories. Every step of the operation was calculated to minimize risk while maximizing impact. Colonel Khan radioed Ortiz from the surface. "Commander, the aliens are retreating from all forward positions. They are disorganized. They may actually surrender if we maintain pressure." Ortiz allowed herself a small nod. "Good, but remember, this is only the beginning. The galaxy must understand that humanity will not bow to threats. They must see our strength, our unity, and our determination to protect what is ours." By the time the alien reinforcements arrived, the humans had anticipated their route and strategies. Traps were laid, reinforcements intercepted, and command centers neutralized. Aliens who expected an easy victory were now scattered, their confidence shattered. For the first time, humans witnessed the awe in the eyes of their enemies. Aliens who had once considered Earth an inconsequential world now faced a species capable of overwhelming even the most sophisticated forces. Humanity was no longer a passive observer. It was an unstoppable force when provoked. The Battle of Vera 9 ended with minimal human casualties, though the aliens suffered significant losses. Ortiz knew this was just the first test of humanity's capabilities. Other alien powers would soon take notice. In the calm after the storm, Ortiz addressed her crew over the ship-wide comms. "Today we have shown the galaxy a new truth. Humans are not weak. We are not naive. We will not be ignored. Let this be a lesson to all. Earth speaks once, and when provoked, we act decisively." Her words resonated across the fleet, instilling pride, determination, and quiet satisfaction. Humanity had endured centuries of being underestimated, and now the galaxy would see them for what they truly were: resilient, intelligent, and united. And as the human fleet prepared for the next phase of their campaign, the stars themselves seemed to shimmer with the knowledge that a new power had risen, a power that would no longer be dismissed or overlooked. The first message of retribution had been delivered. The aliens had witnessed the skill, courage, and strategy of humanity firsthand, and the galaxy would never forget that Earth's patience had limits, and those limits had finally been reached. The alien capital of Rhineth Prime loomed in the distance, massive and intimidating. Towering spires of metal and crystal reflected the light of its sun, giving the impression of untouchable strength. For centuries, the galaxy had feared Rhinoth Prime's military power, believing its defenses were impenetrable. Now, from orbit, the human fleet hovered silently, prepared to demonstrate that fear could be challenged. Commander Lena Ortiz stood on the bridge of the Resolute, her gaze steady. Every previous engagement had been carefully calculated, every victory precise. But this was different. This was the heart of alien power. Every move would matter, every decision could change the balance of the galaxy. Commander, Lieutenant Marco Reyes said, pointing to the holographic map. They have concentrated nearly their entire fleet around the capital. They are preparing for a decisive confrontation. They may attempt to force a surrender through overwhelming firepower. Ortiz nodded. Then we must show them that overwhelming force alone cannot defeat strategy, unity, and courage. Initiate Phase 3. Phase 3 had been planned for years. Humans had studied alien technology, tactics, and communication systems. They had prepared for this moment, anticipating every countermeasure the aliens might employ. Down below, the alien leadership scrambled to respond. High Strategist Talrek paced his chamber, scales glinting under the fluorescent lights. How can this be? Humans, they have no fear. Every attack we predicted has failed. Their coordination. It is beyond any species we have encountered. The Supreme Commander, massive and armored, growled in frustration. They are not fighting like mere survivors. They fight like masters of war. Prepare all defenses. Do not let them reach the city center. Meanwhile, human ground forces prepared for infiltration. Colonel Amir Khan led squads equipped with adaptive armor and advanced mobility systems. They were to strike key command hubs while the fleet engaged the alien capital's defenses from orbit. As human ships approached, alien defense turrets activated, unleashing torrents of plasma fire. But human fighters moved with calculated precision. Using electronic warfare, they disrupted targeting systems, making alien weapons miss by mere meters. Drone swarms disabled energy conduits, cutting power to critical sectors. Ortiz directed the fleet with exacting precision. Focus on disabling engines first, then shields. Keep civilian structures intact. Let them live to remember who faces them. The aliens, confident in their city's strength, launched counterattacks. Massive ships poured fire across the human fleet, expecting to overwhelm them with numbers. But the humans anticipated their every move. Flanking maneuvers, stealth attacks, and coordinated strikes forced the alien vessels to retreat or risk destruction. Below on the surface, human squads moved like shadows through alien corridors. Colonel Khan's team disabled security systems, cut communications, and secured vital control nodes. Every step was synchronized with the fleet above, ensuring maximum efficiency and minimum loss of life. Commander, Reyes reported, their leaders are attempting to escape. High Strategist Talrek and the Supreme Commander are retreating to the inner sanctum. They may attempt to negotiate or flee. Ortiz's eyes narrowed. Then we give them one last chance. Prepare the final transmission. Across the capital, human communication systems broadcast a clear message to the alien population and leadership. You ignored our warnings. You underestimated Earth. Humanity does not seek needless war, but when provoked, we act decisively. Surrender and live under fair terms, or resist and face the consequences. Talrek froze, his eyes widening. The Supreme Commander's massive form stiffened. Neither had expected such a direct message, nor such a clear demonstration of human control over the battlefield. Panic began to ripple through the alien ranks. Colonel Khan's team reached the inner sanctum where the alien leaders had gathered. With careful strategy and clear authority, they presented the aliens with two choices: surrender peacefully, or face complete defeat. Talrek hissed, We cannot believe this. They are only a single species, yet they have brought down our fleet and now control the capital. Ortiz's voice came through the secure comms. Calm yet firm, we are humans. We learn, we adapt, we endure. You were warned, and your choices led you here. Accept the terms, and your people will live. Resist, and you will face consequences you cannot survive. For the first time in history, the alien leadership hesitated. They had underestimated humans, assumed their weakness, and ignored their warnings. Now, faced with undeniable evidence of humanity's strength and strategic brilliance, they saw no option but compliance. Talrek finally lowered his head. We yield, the humans. They are beyond what we imagined. The Supreme Commander, once defiant, bowed his massive head in agreement. Humans had not only defeated alien forces, they had demonstrated superiority through intelligence, planning, and unity, rather than blind violence. Ortiz allowed herself a small nod. The battle was won, but more importantly, the message had been delivered. Humanity had shown the galaxy that Earth was not a world to be ignored. It was a species capable of protecting itself, defending its people, and shaping the balance of power among the stars. Across the galaxy, news of the victory spread quickly. Civilizations that had once considered Earth a minor player began to reconsider. Humans were no longer a species to be dismissed. They were a force of courage, innovation, and unyielding determination. Back on Earth, people watched the final transmissions from the capital of Rhineth Prime. They saw images of alien leaders surrendering, human soldiers securing peace, and fleets returning without unnecessary destruction. Pride and hope filled every human heart. Humanity had finally taken its place among the stars as a respected and formidable presence. Commander Ortiz reflected on the journey. From fragile beginnings on a single planet, humans had grown through struggle, patience, and intelligence. They had sought peace, endured attacks, and learned to survive. And when provoked beyond endurance, they had acted with precision, courage, and justice. Her voice echoed across the bridge of the Resolute. Let this be remembered. Humanity is not weak. Humanity is not naive. We are united, intelligent, and capable of protecting what is ours. The galaxy has witnessed our message. Let no one forget it. As the human fleet returned to orbit around Earth, stars shimmered in silent approval. A new era had begun, not of conquest but of respect. The galaxy now knew that underestimating humans came at a cost, and Earth's retribution had reshaped the balance of power forever, and for the first time in centuries, humanity could breathe with quiet confidence. They had tried peace, they had been ignored, and now the galaxy had witnessed the full measure of their strength. Humanity's message was clear. The era of underestimation was over. From this day forward, Earth would never again be overlooked, dismissed, or threatened without consequence.